The strength that I look at is you always look for experience, and we have 4 starters back off of 22 and 17 from last year. 2 of those kids, Stevie Schultz, Cassie Lombardino, were all conference players. So, when you do have that kind of experience back, that's very important. Cassie and Steve are both 4-year kids as well. So, I always look for that. And then you kind of look for, your depth. I thought last year we were a little thin in the depth department. This year we were a lot more in the depth department. So those are things I look for: experience, depth, and some talent. I think we've added some talent with some transfer kids in our freshman class, a talented group. So, with experience coming back and 2 all-conference players and some added depth and some talent, I think, those are things that should bode well for this conference. Well, the concern's always, with the new players is, making sure that they understand, what we want from them every day. That they bought into what we're wanting to do, and they're not so much concerned about it themselves. But, we haven't ran into that so far, and it seems like a good group. Some of the players we may count on to help us that aren't the experienced kids coming back from last year, it takes a while for them to get used to what we want to do in the league. And so there's a concern in that area that the players that we may count on that are new aren't quite ready for what's going to come at them as far as the league and the tough schedule we have. Well, any team that we put on the floor is always going to be a defensive team that can rebound. I always figure if we can do those 2 things, we can defend and rebound, we'll have a chance to play against anybody out there. So we focus on that. That's I don't know about the key, but that's what we look at. The other key is staying healthy. I think we saw that a little bit last year. We weren't as healthy as we wanted to be, and keeping our depth happy. Keeping our depth excited to be playing. We're awful deep this year in some spots, and we need to use that to our advantage. And so, those are things that we look at. But really never set goals. Expectations. I think one of our program's highest expectations is that they give the senior group the season they want to go out with. This is their final run, and 2 of those kids have been in this program for 4 years. 1 has been in for 2 years, and 1 is a 1-year kid. But it doesn't matter. We always want to, we expect to put them in position to win a lot of games and be successful, and that's what our expectations are, and that's really to do with making sure that that senior class gets out of here with a good feeling, and so that's our expectation. Other than that, we expect to play hard every day. We expect to come to work and kind of let that fall where it mays, and that's kind of been about as simple as this has been. But expectations, I'd imagine, are high as far as some of the kids we have back and some of the newcomers who are coming in. But we try to simplify that, and we expect them to play every day and be a great competitor, and those are things that we do expect. We've had to move faster. The Anaheim trip, starts so early, but it also starts early for the 3 teams we'll play out there. So it's not like we're playing a team that had started any earlier than we'd have. So, with the experience we have coming back and the players we have coming back, I feel like that's somewhat of an advantage for us because we should be in position to play players, maybe not our whole arsenal, but our players that have been around should be able to step in with a 3-week practice schedule and be ready to play anybody. So it is a fast into the season, but I think because of our experience and what we have coming back, it shouldn't be as hard on us as it may be some other teams that are out there. But the other good thing is this team, I think, likes to play. And so with the added games and the early games, it gets them excited quicker. It gets them antsier to play because that's what they really like to do. So with those early games, the practice has been better. I think that adds to good practices because they understand it's coming very quickly. Some seasons you may not start anything until second Friday in November. This one here we're starting so early that the excitement of the practices, the intensity of the practices are quicker and more intense earlier than they have been the years back. So it's kind of a different thing, starting early, but I think it's an advantage for us as far as the experience we have come back, and then making our practices even better than what we think they are. But what a great trip, Anaheim, Disney property. Get to see some teams from different areas of the country, which is I don't think is traveling. A great trip for the seniors to go out, and we'll actually get to spend a couple days in the park because of the way the schedule works. So that's a rarity. Normally we travel sometimes and you really don't get to see much. There we have some days to be able to do some things. So it's a huge plus for us, and I look at it as a huge advantage for us. 3 extra games on our schedule, which is always good. Players want to play, and the 3 games in Anaheim and the Disney and the early competition, I think, is a huge plus for the season. Yeah, sometimes you have to defend and rebound because of necessity. You're just not going to score enough. So we always teach that. But then there's some years that you teach that and you have some offensive power as well. So plus defense and rebounding add to your offense if you look at it the right way. So I think we have a lot of depth. I feel like we should be able to score a little easier than we did last year. I feel like we can play at a different pace than we did last year because of our depth. So yeah, everything will be hung on defense and rebounding, but I hope that leads us into more offense because it gives us more offensive opportunities. And I think this team is a better transition team maybe than last year's team. So all that said, if we'll defend and rebound, we should be out of position and running the floor where this team should be pretty comfortable playing from. But I think we'll score better this year. I feel like we have some kids that we've added that can help us score, and just plus the depth of being able to play at a different pace should help us in the scoring as well.